up and at it in the morning, starting at the BLM field office where we meet Jen Rovenpera and plan our day.
So I've heard about this location for a while now, and I'm really excited to maybe get to go take a look at it, and I'm really hoping we can get there today.
Yeah, so we are going to take County Road 1 up north. We're going to go through the town of Lake City and then through Fort Bidwell. We'll go a few miles past there until we get to the Oregon border. We're going to park and then we're going to hike east until we get to where California, Nevada, and Oregon meet.
Cool.
Is there actually anything there?
There is actually a monument that we'll be able to see.
I think that's going to be really cool.
What kind of terrain are we looking at as we hike?
So we're in the high desert, but we're also at the southern tip of the Columbia Plateau. And so even though it's going to be fairly flat, it is going to be very rocky.
I like flat hikes.
So is there an actual trail, or are we going to be bushwhacking?
I think most of it's bushwhacking.
Okay, we will follow you then.
Okay.
All right, well, let's hit it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We begin our road trip heading north from Cedarville on Surprise Valley Road. About 10 miles up, we reach Lake City. In the late 1800s, this town was both remote enough and populous enough to require its own flour mill, which still stands today in a beautiful, peaceful spot next to a bubbling creek.
People in this valley had to be very self-sufficient. If they got any goods, it was coming in from Redding, it was coming in from Susanville.
So grow your wheat, mill your flour, and that way then you can, of course, bake your own bread and feed your family. And
All that stuff you kind of have to do to survive.
From Lake City, it's another 16 or so miles to Fort Bidwell, a California historical landmark and a place where you can see the enduring portions of its history. This mercantile building is a good example. Fort Bidwell is worth a visit by itself, but we're only passing through today, so we just get a glimpse of town, like the cemetery, which began when the fort was established in the 1860s during a time of conflict with Native Americans, and the remains of the Fort Bidwell Indian School, now abandoned, but a reminder of a truly unfortunate part of history. About 5 miles out of Fort Bidwell, we quickly run out of paved road and continue on dirt. We're on Surprise Valley Road for another 10 dusty miles or so, and we nearly reach the Oregon border before we finally pull over.
so this is where our trail begins for this little journey?
Yes, it is. So we are standing on County Road 1, just south of the Oregon border. If you look at Google Maps, the hiking trail is going to direct you down this road right here, but that is actually on private property, so we're not going to trespass. We're actually going to walk along the fence line first, and then we'll continue on to the tri-state marker.
Fair enough. Lead the way, we will follow you. We're in your hands, Jen.
So this whole area is open for cattle grazing. If you come across any cows, we just have to be very careful. Just give them their distance is the general policy.
You were not kidding about this being rocky.
Yes, yeah, it's flat but very rocky. This is all basalt rock, hotspot that now sits under Yellowstone. 30 million years ago, that was actually just north of us in Oregon, and that's where we get these very old basalt flows. 20 million years ago, we had more volcanic activity and more basalt flows and rhyolitic flows. And then 5 million years ago, Sierras started to uplift, and at the same time, the Warner Mountain Range started to uplift.
Walking in these tracks makes me feel like I could understand what it must have been like to be in a wagon going on one of these trails. I don't know if it was this rocky, probably was, right?
Oh, if not rockier. Some of the wagon roads they actually improved by clearing the rocks, but it would have been bumpy and most likely miserable.
I think I'd rather be hiking it than in a wagon on this.
A lot of people actually just walked alongside the wagons because it was either very bumpy or stuffy, and this might be one of the old wagon roads. Although you'd have to look at the General Land Office survey maps to help confirm that.
Looking down this path, and it's like the yellow brick road. The wildflowers seem to be showing us the path. It's so cool.
Yeah, so we have a couple different plants growing that you can see right here. The white flowers are a type of phlox. The ones with the small yellow flowers are a type of lomatium, commonly known as biscuit root. And there's about 24 different varieties of biscuit root that grow up in this area. And it has an edible root that was traditionally used by the northern Paiute in this area.
That's the reference to biscuits, right?
Yes. I believe you could like grind it into a flour and then make it into a biscuit.
Oh, wow.
There's another plant here called Yampah, and that was really commonly used up on these volcanic plateaus. It just grows in these massive fields. The root is edible. You don't need to cook it, and it's pretty amazing because you can eat it raw, you can cook it, you can store it for long periods of time. It's high in calories. It's actually, for a plant, one of the most complete proteins. I think it rates as a 72 on the complete protein scale. And Native Americans have been harvesting this for thousands of years, and they've most likely been maintaining large fields of it out here for thousands of years as well. Some people say it tastes kind of like water chestnut. Other people say it kind of has almost a peanut flavor. Do you guys want to try one?
Yeah.
We skipped lunch, so yeah, I'm willing to try.
So here, you can, I just take my thumb and take off the skin.
Cool is that looking?
Yeah.
It does almost look like a nut. That one's pretty clean. It's cleaner than my fingers, so.
Oh yeah, you did a much better job than I did. Well, get some.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's good. It's got a little carroty taste right now.
Oh yeah. That's yummy.
Yeah.
A little parsnip to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Look at this stack of rocks, this little cairn.
Yeah. I believe this might be the end of our road trail, guys. So now we just have to go down through Cowhead Slough, back up, and then continue heading towards the tri-state marker.
Okay.
So we just bushwhack from here?
I believe so.
All right, so
Let's-
just down and up.
Yep.
Start
Okay.
whacking bushes.
So now we get to pick our own adventure down, right?
Yeah, and be careful coming down these rocky areas. It's good to test the rock before you commit your weight to it, because some of the rocks do move. You guys probably have seen the piles of cut juniper. This is a project that BLM did a few years ago to help restore the sage steppe habitat. The juniper is really good in this hot, dry climate, and while it expands, it's actually outcompeting some of the other native shrubbery, sagebrush, bitterbrush. We even have a pine tree on our hike.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely?
Tiny bit of shade for us.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of a creek crossing in here.
Yeah, so this is Cowhead Slough. It will flow down to 12 Mile Creek, which is just along the Oregon border. And now we make our way up the other side of the creek.
And we didn't even get wet.
Look at this flower bed here. Pow. That's gorgeous.
Blooming pretty.
We had no idea that it was about to become even better. These meadows full of flowers as far as the eye could see is simply breathtaking.
Hey, look at
And there
that.
we have the monument.
We reached
right.
our goal.
We're finally in the state of Nevada for this episode of Wild Nevada.
Yeah, so Nevada's on this side, California's over there, and just north of us is 12 Mile Creek in Oregon.
So we're right on that corner. Hey, your dream came true.
I know. I've been wanting to be on this spot of the map for lots of years now. So I'm right in the spot I look at in the map all the time.
That's really cool. I see the monument has a name carved into it and a year 1872. So, and then are those coordinates at the bottom?
It does look like there's coordinates. It says longitude 120 and latitude 42, corner of California and the northwest corner of Nevada.
So that's the coordinates that caused a lot of dispute over a lot of years.
Even some bloodshed. There was some serious debates on where 120th meridian was.
And it's really interesting that this one little spot created all of those maps and all of that discussion, and it's still going on. That's part of why I wanted to come. And it made for a beautiful hike, too.
It was a fantastic hike.